I titled today's talk, The Gift of Curiosity. Did it make you curious? Is that why some of you are here? Because you saw the email and thought, what is she going to talk about now? Isn't that cute? Oh, I just love that. And that's me being curious in a humongous field of poppies out in California. Oh. Well, I want to start with a story that I found on a mom's blog. So, she's sharing this story, and I'm going to read it because it's just too realistic to me. Mom, how does a caterpillar make a cocoon? My 3 young children are incessantly curious, asking questions of nature, of people, and of God. As their mother and primary answer giver, I find their curiosity alternately fascinating and frustrating. Any mom, I see some moms shaking their heads. Mom, why does Emmy have 2 daddies and 2 mommies? I used to relish curiosity, but lately busyness and relentless demands of motherhood have snapped my inquisitive drive. Now I spend much of the time saying, because. Just because. Mom, why can't I put my flash drive or my battery or my wire invention in the electric outlet? Because, honey, just because. That's all I can tell you as I get a few more decibels higher and higher with every question. I spent 4 days, she goes on to say, away from my kids last month on a business trip with my husband to Las Vegas. I shed the role of mother. Even for a few days, it felt like taking off a winter jacket soaked in cold rain. I left for a morning run after a leisurely breakfast, and rather than my usual quick jog in the dark while the rest of the house sleeps. I'm looking at some mothers out there who are trying to beat before the kids get up, right, and all the hoopla starts again. So, and I looked around this strange city in Las Vegas, and I found myself curious. Why, God, is this man sleeping on this bridge? I wonder what his story is. God, are you here? Why do you let this stuff go on? What do people feel about this guy? How much do I shape how I see this guy with my white suburban woman attitude? I was curious. And that is a gift. Curiosity is born of observation and looking outside of ourselves with a desire to know the world. It is the other rather than self-centered. It is a desire to ask and to seek. A curious mind is open to new discoveries. Is that true? A curious mind is open to the dynamic and creative work in this world. Curiosity sent Moses toward a flaming bush, saying to himself, I'm going to go see this strange sight, and what's making this bush burn up? And what happened? God spoke through that burning bush. That's how the story goes. Curiosity had the shepherds scurrying off to Bethlehem to see the baby Jesus, saying, let's go see this thing that happened. Right? Somebody told us about it. We got to go see it. Curiosity. She says, yesterday I stood at the kitchen counter. I love this. A place where my feet have worn grooves into the floor. I call it my office. Since I can spend the entire workday in front of the sink, washing yet another set of dishes, cleaning up yet another messy meal, my daughter scrapes a chair across the floor, scampers up to me, says, why can't I stir the brownies? Why can't I just eat the batter raw? Why can't I crack the egg? Why does... And the mother sighed, wanting to stay in the auto mommy mold and answer, because... A voice stirred in me, reminding me that God delights in me being like a child. That I bring my questions and curiosity all the time, and that infinitely my patience will be rewarded. Just like, I think as I was reading this, I said to myself, I got to tell myself, don't squelch the curiosity. When all those questions of children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren are at your heels, questioning. How did I say? It's in Matthew. Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Meaning you will never be at peace unless you become like a little child. You know, the Daily Word yesterday, that I don't know if maybe some of you read it. But if you don't subscribe to this magazine, I think you're kind of crazy, because it is non-denominational. It fits whatever spiritual path you're on, a daily inspirational message with a Bible verse at the end. But yesterday, Daily Word struck me. The word was fun. Now, of course, that's going to attract my attention, right? I live a joy-filled, inspired life, and I love to have fun. And I'm thinking about, that's my grandkids. That's how I want to be, but that's how they are. I will never outgrow my love for having fun. I regularly tap into my childlike nature and allow myself to let go of whatever is on my mind and play. I approach every day with wonder and enthusiasm and let myself play and be curious. Who would like to affirm that to be your truth? Okay, how many do that every day? There's a couple of people over there. Yes, good. We've got more than 4 hands raised. That's good. My impulse is to have fun. And the call of my soul is to reclaim my joy. As I play, my spirit begins to feel lighter as I laugh and smile. Isn't that the truth? Just somebody tell a joke. That's funny. And what happens, right? It changes our energy field. And I just thought that was just like, I know, here we go, Christy, my daughter's here. And so, she's shaking. She's over there going, oh, God, here we go again. But I cannot help it, because she came to mind as I was working on this talk. She has been a curious child since she was 4, but I'm going to take it to 6 years old, because at 4 she was still a little bit too little to go to the grocery store and speak her mind. But at 6, she started speaking her mind. And so she would have no problem going up to a complete stranger. Hi, are you married? Do you have any kids? What do you do? Do you work? How old are you? 6 years old. She had it would be and see the adult in me. What did I do? Christy, come on. I'm so sorry, right? I was squelching this spirit in a child. Thank God she didn't let it squelch, because she is that way to this day. And I watch her as she works with, and most of you hear me say this because I'm just so proud of her, of working with the people who are experiencing homelessness. And she doesn't go in and judge them. She's curious. She's curious about their backstory. So, what do you do? Where are you living now? What's going on? Are you in school? Can I get you in the Runners Club? Would you be curious? Would you be curious about that? I think about the gift of curiosity when we allow it. But, oh no, we can't do that as adults. That'd be too nosy. I don't want to be nosy. Well, there's a difference between being nosy and being curious, right? Think about what got you here in the first place. Curiosity. Unless your mother or father or spouse drug you here and said, come on, you're going to church with me today. But what got most of you here was curiosity. I look at Ron and Rhea. Ron and Rhea heard me guest speak at Unity in Monroe years ago. Why did they come here? Because they were curious about that lady. And they wanted to know more about her. And so they drive from Oregonia to here because they were curious about that lady who was speaking. What got you here was curiosity. It's healthy curiosity that can propel us forward. Just like Moses, just like Christy, just like me. If you come and you say, I want to have coffee with you, be prepared. Because I'm going to want to know all about you. And I'm going to remember most of it. Because I'm curious about you. Nosy is asking all about you and walking away and you don't have a clue what they just said. Curious is taking in what somebody's sharing with you. Curious with someone is allowing somebody to be vulnerable with you and not going, Not that any of us would do that. No. Right. You know, there is an unhealthy curiosity, right? What's the term? Curiosity kills the cat. What was the problem with that? Wonder what the cat got into, huh? That was curious about it. Well, I can tell you for a fact, 2 weeks ago, our dog was curious about a raccoon, and the raccoon bit its ear. So that's unhealthy curiosity. You know, curiosity, when you draw from your 12 powers that I talked about, the spiritual 12 powers that you were born with, curiosity entails drawing from wisdom. Our dog did not draw from wisdom. Our dog drew from instinct, right? It also, curiosity requires the spiritual power of imagination. Christy had a wild imagination at 6 years old because she already, I'm sure, had invented in her mind, who are you? At 6 years old, she would have no problem saying, how come you have 2 moms? She'd be just like that story. Why do you have 2 moms? Not judging. She just was curious. She wanted to know. And it also involves the spiritual power of love. Because when you're curious, and you're curious in a healthy way, you're curious because you love life, and because you love mankind, and because you want to know more about them. You see the difference in that? You know, I want to share one more thing with you. Yesterday, we had the Celebration of Life service for Bud Wukasik. And Elizabeth is here today. I'm so glad to see you here. And I've got to meet some really curious, no, I don't say it that way. We went downstairs to Fellowship Hall after the service. And there were many people that were curious about me and came up to me and wanted to tell me that they appreciated the service, but then they wanted to tell me about themselves. And of course, now I get where Christy gets it from. Of course, I'm like, well, so where do you work? What do you do? Where do you live? Literally, that's coming out of my mouth to these people I've never met before, but they're curious because they're involved in a Christian community, and they kind of want to know what got me here, and that they wish their community would ordain women because women are amazing. I'm like, oh, you got my attention now. I'm right there with you. And then I find out about this guy named Dave who was curious after his wife died of where his life was going to take him. This a true story of yesterday. And because of his curiosity, he starts questioning people about what do I do now? And he starts using his imagination, and he starts being curious about what would he like his life to look like now without his wife. Well, he wanted to live close to a church. He just felt like he wanted to be close to a church, and he wanted to be able to find living headquarters that were affordable. And he really wanted to serve humanity in a better way. Somehow, in the course of this, and too much detail to tell you, but the guy ends up living in the rectory. That's the priest house where the priests are not living because they're so short of priests. The priest residencies are empty. They don't want it to be empty, so the word got to him, and they said, "What about Dave?" And Dave's like, "Cool." So as he's moving in, he's realizing, I manifested, I wanted to be close to a church. I'm living on the property. Next thing you know, he's now their service, what do you call that? Like a custodian? Custodian, where he takes care of the repairs and light things like that. You should see this Dave guy came alive telling me about himself. When you're curious, you never know what's going to open up for you, do you? Think about in the times of your life, I look at the work that you do, and you're curious about these women you work with, Nancy. You're curious about your students, you teachers. You draw curiosity out of your kids. And that's a big gift that the teachers of our world give to our kids. Parents, I know I was a single mom, so I really understood this mom's blog. I didn't have a lot of patience by the time I got home. And then here come all the questions, and you just want to tell them to go to their room and leave me alone, and you can't. Curiosity is a great thing. I look at Kayleen. We only got her 2 more Sundays, guys. And then she's off why? Because she became curious about what would life look like if I started my own music studio. What would life look like if I started taking all my compositions I'm writing and share them with the world? What would it look like if I produced my own CD? And it's happening, but it starts with curiosity. Everything you do, everything. Getting laid off from one job, moving, ending up in another job, and you're happy, and it's like, duh. Be curious about why this happens. Be curious when something sad happens in your life. Be curious about, what am I supposed to do next? Be curious about, how do I reinvent myself now? Be curious. I want to share a video, hopefully, and many of you have seen this because it's gone viral over this week, and it's a woman who was on America's Got Talent, and she's dealing with cancer. You'll find all this out, but I want to say that she was curious. She was curious, and look what happened.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, we're happy you are. What's your name?
My name's Jane. When I sing, I go by Nightbird.
Oh, that's nice.
Nightbird?
That's right.
Did you sing? Do you sing for a living?
Not recently.
Where are you from?
I'm from Zanesville, Ohio.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 30.
30 years old. And the dream is to be a singer. What are you going to be singing for us tonight?
I'm singing an original song called It's Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It is. It's okay.
It's okay.
What is It's Okay about?
It's Okay is the story of the last year of my life.
All right. And who are you here with?
I'm here by myself.
It's okay. And what do you do for a living?
I have not been working for quite a few years. I've been dealing with cancer.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm okay.
all right.
Can I ask you a question? How are you now?
Last time I checked, I had some cancer in my lungs, my spine, and my liver.
Wow.
So you're not okay.
Well, not in every way, no.
You got a beautiful smile and a beautiful glow, and
You do.
nobody would know.
Thank you. It's important that everyone knows I'm so much more than the bad things that happen to me.
Yes.
All right, sing for us.
Good luck. Nightbird.
That she wrote.
I moved to California in the summertime. I changed my name thinking that it would change my mind. I thought that all my problems, they would stay behind. I was a stick of dynamite and it just was a matter of time, yeah. Oh dang, oh my, now I can't hide. Said I knew myself, but I guess I lied. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. If you're lost, we're all a little lost, and it's alright. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. If you're lost, we're all a little lost, and it's alright. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright. I wrote 100 pages, but I burned them all. Yeah, I burned them all. I blow through yellow lights and don't look back at all. I don't look back at all. Oh dang, oh my, now I can't hide. Said I knew what I wanted, but I guess I lied. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. If you're lost, we're all a little lost, and it's alright. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. If you're lost, we're all a little lost, and it's alright. Oh, it's alright to be lost sometimes.
Wow. There are, however, there have been some great singers this year. And I'm not going to give you a yes. I'm going to give you something else.
I have to tell you, the further part of the right at that moment, America's Got Talent, they're not allowed to touch or hug. Simon said, "Oh, the hell with it," and hugged her. You know, curiosity. She stayed curious. She didn't give up because of a diagnosis. She's been given, if you research this a little more, you're going to find out that she was given 2% to live. And she's still not out of the woods, but she didn't let it stop her. Stay curious. Stay curious. You know, there's a 4-year-old little boy. And his next door neighbor was an elderly gentleman, and he had recently lost his wife. And upon seeing the man cry, the little boy became curious. And he went to the gentleman's yard, and he climbed up on his lap. He was sitting on the porch, and he climbed up into the old man's lap, and he just sat there. When his mother asked him, when he came home, she asked him, she said, "What'd you say to the neighbor?" And the little boy just said, "Nothing. I just helped him cry." Stay curious. Be like a little child. Quit trying to be so grown up. Quit trying to feel like you have to have all the answers. Let yourself play. Like the Daily Word said yesterday, it's about time to have some fun. It is about time to have more laughter in your life. That's what God wants for us. He didn't create us to be serious beings. He created us to be joyful beings. And I'm looking at Marielle, who just exudes joy, and I hope that you're going to let them know about the seeds today. So with that, I want to say our affirmation that I've created for the week. This is a personal affirmation that I hope that you will write down, or you will go to our Facebook page and find this, because it's a good one for us to all remember to affirm. I am choosing to be curious so that I can surrender to uncertainty. Let's say that again. I am choosing to be curious so that I can surrender to uncertainty. Let's say that one more again. I am choosing to, so that I can surrendering to uncertainty. With that, I close always with namaste. Namaste means to me that the Christ presence in me truly sees and honors that Christ presence in each and every one of you. Namaste.